I'm heading out on my very first camping trip of 2026. I have the DoD one-hand Mototent to test. Okay, so I'm just going to cut in right now, and I want to say that I'm promoting this tent, but I am not going to be promoting a lot of stuff. The only reason that I accepted this tent is because it really fits in with what I'm doing, and it's valuable to me. It's something that I would want to use. I hope if it works out that it's something that I would want to use. So I'll see how that goes. Very nice day today, but I'm not sure that the weather's going to hold overnight. Forecast is for rain moving in, so it might be a repeat of last year's performance, waking up in the cold and wet. But I don't have a ferry to catch to come home. This is all going to take place on the lower Sunshine Coast. Okay, well, $2:13. I got lots of time. Okay. There we go. Nice. So it packs on to, it doesn't pack down that small. It takes up a bit of room. Better than I expected, so I hope there's a lot of packaging in here. That's 2 feet by 9 inches by 9 inches. Okay. So, no, that is it. That is the tent. There's no extra packaging in there. But I can strap it to the top of my box, and that's reasonably convenient for transport. Shift my little bag. Usually I have all my tent and everything in here. Without a tent, it's a little smaller, which is okay. Strap this to the back or back seat, pannier, top box. So not too much extra bulk. It's manageable. I can feel the weight on the bike, but it's not just the tent, of course. It's everything that I've got. This is really just an overnight trip, so I'm not taking a lot of stuff. Rock straps off, take the thing off, and let us try that. I have the instructions. I've never tried putting the tent up before, so I have not put the tent up. When I opened the bag of the tent, I found the instructions in Japanese, so that's not very helpful. My Japanese is, I wouldn't even say weak. So, nice bag. The whole thing pops out. These are the Japanese instructions. There's some pegs here. Oh, I looked at the pegs. They're very nice. Okay, so that's that. What else is in here? Oh, there's some poles. Okay, so these are some poles. I think that's for the awning, and that is something I don't know what it is. Okay, so let's see what it says. This is the one-hand tent. One hand, but we'll see. Okay, how to set up. Remove the tent from the carry bag, place it on stable ground. I'm the least capable person of putting things together. Really, I have a bad record for putting things together backwards. sideways. Let's look at the instructions again. It's spread out. I mean, I'm a guy who can't make things with Lego, so if I get this up okay, it's a miracle. Hold the joint handle with one hand and the rope coming out of the joint with the other hand. I wish they said left or right. I thought this was a one-handed tent. Okay, there's the rope. Okay. While lifting the tent upward, pull out the rope as if you were pulling a bow and arrow. Okay. Really? Oh, I see. There. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I see. Right. Okay. Let's say pulling a, not a bow and arrow, a pull start. Okay, so we have a tent sort of standing up. Okay, so here's the tent set up. Watch out, there's a lot of guy wires here, a lot of things. So there's a lot of room. I mean, one of the advantages of this tent for moto camping is you have this huge outside area. You could put your gear, your wet gear. I'm going to set up my little chair there and have a look. I've got to put my sleeping bag and pad in now, so we'll see how that goes. That goes there. So there we go. I'm sitting in my space in my tent. Now it is 3:37. I forget what time it was when I started. I think it was probably about a half an hour ago. So I'm going to say when you get used to setting up the tent, you're not struggling with the instructions, and probably set it up in 10 or 15 minutes. But that's proportional to its size compared to my other tent, where you're sliding. Slide those things through. Like this outside structure, I mean, these are good quality. That's aluminum, right? That's good quality. That's going to stand up, but bit of a learning curve. Let's say that. It's a bit of a learning curve. If you're interested in the DoD Moto one-handed tent, there is a link below, and go check it out and see if that suits you. It's not that expensive. I think it was around $200 US, but not sure. I went to the website, right? Because I didn't get the instructions in English, I had to go to the website to download instructions and print them in English. That was easier than learning Japanese. And yeah, so I'm here, I'm camping, March camping trip. So far so good, right? I know, but you remember how last year went? You probably don't, if you didn't watch that. Not too many people did. Last year's things turn overnight around here. And I think tonight is going to be one of those nights where we go from spring-like conditions to winter conditions. So I have some trepidation about how tomorrow's going to look, and I'm actually glad that I have the awning and stuff, because I could set up my little stove here. I'll probably have my coffee under the shelter if it's pouring rain, as is predicted. And I might take this tent to Gold River, to the Gold River Rally, because I'll be spending camping for 5 nights, I think, in the same spot, and having a big space to put my gear. That'll be handy. There's lots of positives to this tent. I was going to bring the tent that I described as my kids' tent, which is the the biggest tent I've got. That's 10 pounds. This is just a little bit more, but this has this great awning space. So that's a bonus. Thanks, DoD, for sending me a tent. Sorry that I'm not the most adept at building things. Big test will be if it rains tonight, which is predicted. We'll see how that goes. Got the tent set up, got a little fire going. Here's the thing that I learned last year. Bring your own kindling. These are little bits of scrap wood from my home. And I've cut a little bit of wood from a downed branch that was laying around here. There's a whole bunch of fresh wood cut here, but I don't have an axe to chop it into something usable. So that's unfortunate. But we do have a bit of fire going here. I hope I don't put too much on there and get it going, and maybe I can cook something. So far so good. Okay, inside the tent, there's actually a little hook up here at the top that you can hang a lantern from. Things are cooling down, so I'm just snuggling into my sleeping bag. One of the things that I miss about this tent, compared to my other tents, is having a little pocket. Right, I like a tent that has a little pocket in the side, so you can tuck my glasses in there. That would be a nice addition, but certainly roomy enough. Just check the weather, and it says there should be some light rain around now, but I'm not feeling it, that the real rain starts in the middle of the night. So we'll see what it's like tomorrow. I don't know if you can hear the rain. The rain has begun in earnest. The rain has begun in earnest. It's really feels like it's coming down now. It's still a bit too early to get up, and it's dark, so I'm not bothering, but the tent is holding up fine. So that's the number one thing you want in a tent, is that it doesn't leak. Made it through the night. Actually sleep, because I go to bed early when I'm camping, I always sleep really well. I was awake as usual in the middle of the night. Yeah, because I was awake in the night for a couple of hours, and for people my age, I think it's common that we wake up in the night and can't get back to sleep. I still managed to get more than 7 hours sleep in, so that's really positive. This little alcove, I gotta say, I wasn't impressed when they sent me the thing. I go, oh yeah, I'm not gonna put my bike here, but I can put my chair, I can sit up, I'm gonna make my coffee, in the rain. This is a godsend. This is just a fabulous option for keeping my gear dry, spreading it out, and everything. And this little flap here, this can zip down, right? You could put your stuff here, close your tent up, and go away and feel secure. Yeah. Anyways, I gotta make myself a nice little espresso with this espresso pot. I've only used it once. I used it on my last year's camping trip, where you might have seen me burr. But today I feel much better. Fill this up. Now, the one I have at home has a line to tell you how full to make it. But I'm just guessing here. Yeah, you might think I'm a camp snob for having a little espresso pot, but it's ordinary coffee. With coffee mate. Okay, so that, and then I can put this on the top. Okay. I gotta say, after years of using a Coleman and pumping and all that stuff. This little butane stove. I have said I don't like the idea of using these, propane or butane cylinders, although I can recycle them in my hometown. But I've seen so many dumped on the trail and left in the garbage. It just hurts me. But, when it comes to turning on the stove, when you can just like flip a switch and turn it on, it's like just like at home. That is a bonus. Okay, so I guess the next challenge with this tent is going to be taking it down. And the instructions were do the opposite of what you did when you were putting it up. But I was kind of struggling to get it up, and I don't remember what I did exactly. I think the two legs that are at the front collapse, because that's where it had to go up at the end, and then after that I can just lower that, and then it folds in somehow, right? It's got to fold in and go back in the bag. So hopefully that won't be as complicated, and I have to do it in the rain. So this is always a challenge, right? I mean, putting this tent up in the rain, if you've practiced, then it shouldn't be too hard, because it seems to me that it was pretty simple in the end, right? You flip everything out, lock a couple of pieces, so I have to remember to unlock those before I flip them back in, and then pull the string and lift it up. So that should be pretty good. I mean, it says one hand, but you need one hand to pull the string and the other hand to lift it up. So again, there's at least two hands involved. There's a few little ties here, like these ties. I think if you don't want that stuck out, you can roll it up and have it here. These ties, there's a tie on the side here, not over here. Why is there a tie there and not there? I don't know. Oh, looks like there's a door here. Oh, you can open this door on this side. There's a tie here, and there's a thing here, so you can open this side. So there's a lot of flexibility in how you can design that. I guess if you're, and there's a window here. Right. So, okay, so that makes sense. If you put down this flap, you can use a door. You can put down that flap and use that as a door, and you can open. Oh, it's gonna go. What's that sound? That sound is my coffee. Oh, sounded like an angry wombat. Oh, is that hot? It's hard for something to be hot around here right now, unless it's directly over the fire. Okay, I can smell it already. Okay, here's my coffee in the morning. Fabulous. Again, second best part of camping is the morning coffee. I like it if the sun's coming up on me. That's the ideal, is to be sitting in a sunbeam in the morning drinking my coffee. But can you hear there's a bird singing? There he goes. I think I will bring this to Gold River. Just have a lot of space. We're going to be there for 5 days. Just be able to set my stuff out, have a lot of room. I got a lot of feedback on the Idaho BDR video, and people saying, you got to travel light, right? And this tent is not going to be a light, at, what did I say? It's 12 pounds, which is heavier than any of my other tents. So this is not a light traveling tent. So I wouldn't take it on a journey where you're doing anything that's really challenging on your bike. because you don't want the extra weight. But if you're riding the highway and you're going to just regular campgrounds and you don't have to go on any super sketchy roads to get there, then, the extra, well, what was it? My little tent was 3 pounds, or was it 4 pounds? 3 pounds? Was it 2 pounds? Yeah, I think it was 2 pounds. My little one-person tent was 2 pounds. My old standard tent was like 6 pounds. So this is twice as heavy as my old standard 2-person tent, which has 2 little vestibules and almost the same footprint inside, but not as tall. Okay, this is the bottom of my coffee. I'm really going to have to get down to getting out of here. Oh, and I think the rain has eased again, so that's my cue. Let's get this done while we're in a little break. Okay. And this is gonna not last very long. Okay. So obviously I'm back home now. My camera failed, the battery was dead by the time I was getting ready to take the tent down. So I want to report that taking the tent down was very easy. I had a moment of doubt as I was trying to figure out how to unlock the lifting mechanism, but that only took me 30 seconds to figure out. And once I pulled the cord to let it down, it all went very quickly. Everything folded up, went back in the bag very easily. So I'm going to say that was probably a 2-minute process to take that down, unlike putting it up. And I think retrospectively, once I've done this tent a few times, going one pull to lift it up is going to be actually just a couple of minute process. So, maybe a maximum of 5 minutes, not more than that. So definitely comparable to one of my other tents where I have to slide the poles through and then hook everything up. So easy to set up, easy to take down. That's great. So let's just go through the pros on this tent. It's got that giant vestibule. That's a very strong pro. I've never seen a tent with something like that. Very good ventilation. I didn't have the ventilation open, but there was a back window. There's a roof ventilation. You can have the opening to the vestibule with nothing but a net, and then the vestibule can be open or it can be closed with nothing but a net, so keeping the mosquitoes out but letting the air in. So great ventilation. Solid construction, like I said, aluminum and heavy duty, waterproof. If a tent's not waterproof, then it's garbage. Like, there's no point in a tent. There's no tents that are water resistant. Like, it's either waterproof or don't buy it. This tent stood up to a really good rain and I had no problem. And the one pull thing, I guess I would put it as an advantage, a pro. Little bit of a learning curve to set it up and get it ready because it's quite different than other tents that I've had. But if you're as old as me, you might remember the old canvas tents where you put the pole up inside, and it's kind of like that. Flatten it out, get the pole thing in ready, and then lift it up. But unlike the pole inside, there's nothing in the middle for you. So lots of pros. Cons, well, it's bulky, it's large, and it's heavy. That's really it, right? Like that is the main thing. I also complain that there's no internal pockets for glasses or stuff when you're sleeping, so it's easy to find them. But not all tents have that, and that's a really pretty minor thing. So who is this tent for? Well, it's for road trips. It's for trips where you're going to spend multiple days in the same location and you want to have a nice big setup, like I'm going to do at the Gold River Rally. that's a perfect example of a time when a tent like this will come in handy, when you may have wet days and you may want to spread your stuff out a bit. Having that big space on a wet day means that you have a place to cook and sit and do the stuff that you need to do without being in the rain. Not for riding a BDR or someplace where you have to travel light. It goes without saying, right? You don't want a 12-pound tent on your bike when you're traveling on a really remote single track or something where weight is really a consideration. This tent doesn't go with that. Lots of people, that's how they ride, but for some of us older guys, we want to be comfortable and we want to go someplace and just enjoy the night. This tent could be a really good choice. So keep that in mind. Thanks for watching my video, and see you in the next one.